In this video, we aim to process a recording in a single click. That seems impractical at first glance, but bear with me. Whether you're working on voiceovers, audiobooks, podcasts, or any kind of voice recording, this process will help you get cleaner, clearer, and more polished audio. The goal is simple. We want to make the audio sound great with as little manual work as possible, ideally with just one click. That's the dream. We want to get close to that, where all the processing can be applied quickly and efficiently. Now, how do we get there? Let me explain the manual process a bit. I've created a simple 5-step process, and I've explained it in detail in the Sound Better PDF guide that I've already shared with you. That guide walks you through each step you need to follow to process your audio manually and get a decent sounding result. The 5 steps are as follows. First, normalize the audio so that the volume is consistent. Then reduce the background noise. I use the denoise effect for that. After that, you apply EQ, which stands for equalization, to adjust the tone and clarity of the voice. Next, you apply compression to control the dynamic range, so loud parts aren't too loud and soft parts aren't too soft. Finally, you normalize again to make sure the final output level is clean and broadcast ready. Now if you follow these 5 steps manually every time, it works, but it also takes time. More importantly, if we are doing the same thing over and over, why are we not automating it? So the big question is, can we automate it? And the answer is, yes. Adobe Audition gives us the ability to automate some of this using the effects rack. This is where we can load and stack multiple effects together, apply them all at once, and even save them as a preset. Adobe has included some default presets here, such as the AM radio preset. If you select any preset, you will see the effects in it. You can double-click on the effects name to see the configurations. Your custom preset will also be here. For example, I have a preset called Clear Voice that I personally built. Clear Voice preset brings up the clarity of a voice. This preset is part of my Adobe Audition preset pack. If you have access to the Adobe Audition bundle or Adobe Audition preset pack, you will have this preset along with several others. These custom presets are often much more useful than the default ones, because they're tuned specifically for spoken audio, not music or general radio effects. When you open the effects rack, you'll see numbered slots, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, where each slot can hold an effect. You can click the arrow beside a slot to see the list of available effects. However, it's important to understand that just loading a bunch of effects isn't enough. You have to know how to configure each one correctly. The strength of any preset depends not just on which effects are used, but how each one is adjusted. Just stacking effects randomly won't give you good results. Now here's an important limitation: not every effect in Adobe Audition can be used inside the effects rack. For example, in my Sound Better PDF guide, the first effect is Normalize. However, we do normalize using a favorite. In the Favorites menu, we use the shortcut of Normalize to -3 dB. However, the effects rack has no such thing as favorites. It only shows effects from the effects menu. That means, if we have to use the Normalize effect in effects rack, we have to know where it is in the effects menu. In the effects menu, it is inside amplitude and compression. You can see the Normalize effect here. However, if we try to add Normalize in the effects rack, you will be surprised. I am now inside the amplitude and compression from the effects rack, and we cannot see any Normalize effect here. So what happened? Well, to understand that, we have to check it from the effects menu. I will go to the amplitude and compression from the effects menu. You can see process beside the Normalize effect. There are some other effects where you can see the process. If any effect has process besides it, it cannot be used inside the effects rack. That's why we could not find the Normalize effect when trying to add it from the effects rack. So what do we do about that? It means that in our workflow, we'll have to apply the Normalize effect manually at the beginning and end of the process. The rest of the steps, noise reduction, EQ, and compression, can be included in the effects rack. So I will add the effects in the effect racks one by one. I will first add the denoise effect. I have already showed you ideal configurations in the PDF guide. So, I am not going into detail about the configuration of each effect. After denoise, I will add an EQ. I add an EQ using the parametric equalizer. I am using the basic high-pass filter for the EQ. We can change the tone of a recording using a proper EQ, but the high-pass filter is the most basic EQ. For now, I will be using this basic EQ. After that, I add a compressor effect from Dynamics. The compressor is one of the complex effects to configure properly. I will use the soft compression preset as a starting point. From there, I will adjust the ratio and threshold. Please note that I am not discussing the configuration in detail, as I shared those in the PDF guide. If you need to know the correct configurations, please consult the PDF guide. These three effects, denoise, EQ, and compressor, can all be saved as a single effects rack preset. We can confirm that these effects are doing something with the audio. I will play the audio and toggle it on and off, and you will hear the difference.
Some people claim that all aerators are created equal. Well, we beg to differ. Ranchworks Pastor aerators are engineered with forged wrench tech blades designed to penetrate deeper and aerate more effectively than any. Some people claim that all aerators are created equal. Well, we beg to differ. Ranchworks Pastor aerators.
You could hear that the effects are doing something. So once we build the effects rack, what would the overall processing looks like? Let's see how we can move from manual to automated process. Our first step is normalize to -3 dB that I will do from the favorites menu. The next step would be these three effects that we already have in the effects rack. Instead of applying each one separately, I can use the effects rack to apply at once. The last normalize can be done again from the favorites menu. The audio is now processed in 3 clicks. Instead of manually applying each effect every time, I shortened the process to 3 clicks only. However, I have not saved the effects rack preset, and it is gone. I cannot use it again. To reuse the effects rack, I have to save those effects as a preset. Let me undo the processing and save the effects rack. Then you will truly realize how short the actual process has become. I will save the effect rack's preset as one test. The preset is now saved, and if open Adobe Audition at any time, I can reuse it. I will close Adobe Audition and reopen it to show you how to reuse it. I have reopened Adobe Audition. Now I can process any recording using the preset. I will open a recording here. This is the raw recording. Now I will do the 3-click processing. Watch carefully what I do. First the normalize to -3 dB using favorites. Then I go to effects rack, and pull up the one test preset that I saved before. I have to apply it to see its change on the waveform. After that, I have to do that last normalize again. So now I've got most of my 5-step manual process kind of automated. That's a huge improvement compared to adjusting everything manually each time. But we can go even one step further with automation using Adobe Audition's favorites feature. Favorites allow you to record a sequence of actions, like normalize, apply preset, then normalize again, and save it as one favorite. Once saved, you can apply all those steps with just one click. I will close Adobe Audition and reopen it to show you how to record a favorite. I have a recording open in Adobe Audition, and now I will record a favorite. Here's how to do it. First, go to the Favorites menu and choose Start Recording Favorite. Then perform the steps exactly as you want them. Every action I do now will be recorded in the favorite. I will start with normalize to -3 dB. I will open the preset from the effects rack and apply it. It is basically the same what I did a bit earlier. As the last step, I will normalize to -3 dB again. I have done all the things necessary for processing, so I will now stop the recording. Go to the Favorites menu, and click Stop Recording Favorite. You'll be asked to give it a name. I will name it something like One-Click Voice Processing. Now this favorite is saved, and you'll see it listed in the Favorites menu. From now on, every time you need to process a recording, all you have to do is click that one favorite, and everything will be applied automatically. This will work on any audio, not just the one you use to record the favorite. You can use it for audiobooks, voiceovers, podcasts, any spoken word project. Let me show you an example. Let's say I've just recorded something. Instead of going through all the steps one by one, I just go to Favorites and click my saved favorite. In one click, the audio is processed using the normalize, effects rack, and final normalize steps, just the way I set it up. It's fast, efficient, and ensures the same quality every time. This doesn't mean you never have to do anything manually. You'll still need to edit out mistakes, long silences, or unwanted parts of your recording. That's part of the editing process. But when it comes to audio processing, making your voice sound clean and professional, this one-click method will save you a huge amount of time and effort. If you want help setting up a preset like this for your own voice, I can build it for you. Just let me know, and I can create a customized preset and favorite based on your needs so you can get professional sounding audio every time with minimal effort. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you take your audio editing skills to the next level using Adobe Audition.